Hey everybody, welcome to Fit Tip Tuesday. Today I'm going to be on for a very short amount of time because I'm teaching at 2 o'clock for Stitches at Home this weekend, and I'm kicking things off with my Break Your Serger Out of the Box class at 2. So I have to prep for that and get that all set up as soon as I'm done here. Hi Diane, thank you for joining me. All right, so I did a little poll so you could vote on which pattern you wanted to work with for our next sew along. And I picked my two favorites. So for me, I couldn't have a loser because both of these patterns are my absolute favorite. So your choices were either the raglan sleeve top or the tee. And there's my sister, and here's my mommy, depending on the size you get. The tee has misses and women's sizes, and the raglan sleeve top goes from size 4 to 20 in the same, pattern envelope. So those were your choices. And then I did the poll was on Instagram and on the community tab on my YouTube channel here. So I have very interesting results for you. Hi Janie, welcome. Today is the big reveal on what our next sew along is going to be. And without further ado, I will tell you that it was practically a tie. On my Instagram, the tee got almost not quite twice as many votes as the raglan sleeve top. And on my YouTube channel, on the community tab, the raglan sleeve got twice as many votes, practically. So we're at a heated tie here. Hi, Sally. Ooh, Sally's on the edge of her seat. So here's what I'm gonna do. I decided, because I love both of these patterns so much. Hello. Hi, Linda Lee. Hi, Terry. Welcome. I decided what we're going to do is, oh, wait a minute, let's say, oh, wait, Mary says, hi, Jen. I got my 2 miles on the treadmill in 87-degree heat. Glad I'm done now. I can just sit and relax. Yay. Ooh, it's warm in Michigan, Mary. It's delightfully refreshing today. We had our first heat wave in June with 4 days over 100, near 100 degrees, 90 some odd degrees. Today is lovely 68, and I hiked outside, and the dogs loved it, and I loved it. Okay, hi Jane. Jane from Canada, and Hannah, or I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Welcome everybody. All right, so if you voted for which pattern we're going to use in the next sew along, thank you so much for voting. It was really fun for me to count up all the votes. And oh, she's from the Netherlands. Hanny from the Netherlands. Welcome. It basically was a tie because on my channel in the community tab, the raglan sleeve one, and on my Instagram, the tee one. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start a sew along with the tee first, and then after the tee is finished, I'm going to do a raglan sew along. So we're going to do them both. Tee first because it actually got a little, like a couple more votes total than the raglan sleeve, and then we'll do the raglan sleeve second because they were both like almost equally loved. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the tee pattern. I'm going to show you the sizing. I'm going to give you recommendations for picking out your best starting size. And some other things for the tee. And then I'm getting off because I have to get ready for a serger class I'm teaching for Stitches at Home at 2. All right, let me see here. Mary says, what does the raglan sleeve type shirt look like if you made it cut off with shoulders like sleeveless? Well, actually, Mary, that's my exact plan for the raglan. I want to make a summer version of the raglan sleeve, and it will have next to no sleeve. It'll be more of a let's call it a cap slash sleeveless version. That's what we're going to be doing with the raglan sleeve second. Because you know I don't really like sleeves. I have very few tops with sleeves, but I think having like a little cap with a little, you know, the little raglan cap is going to be really cute. And you can shave it off more and make it like a tank style if you want to as well. So that's what we're going to be doing with the raglan sleeve. Diane says, awesome, both styles, so long. Yay. All right, well, I'm glad you're happy. Okay, so let me just switch gears here. I'm going to switch my view to my picture-in-picture. And you can see here I have a pile of stuff to share with you. So this tee is the first pattern I ever designed. And it continues to be my most popular pattern, believe it or not. I love this tee because it's got, it has style lines that are going to allow you a lot of creative options in terms of color blocking and other things. Because if I zoom in here, you can see it has an above the bust seam, okay, and the seam wraps around to the back. So it's almost an emptier waist in the back, but across the front, it's a little bit of an above the bust seam. And then there's a center front piece, side front pieces, a back piece, and then lower front and back pieces. So that's what the tee pattern looks like. If you own the tee, fabulous. Trace off your sizes and have it ready. If you don't have the tee, I put links in the description below this live stream so you can get your copy. I put links to all the PDF versions, but you can then go in and find the print if you'd rather have the print version. But what I want to explain here is, for this pattern, I used the full bust measurement, because remember, this is the first pattern I ever designed. So instead of using high bust, I use full bust. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look at the full bust size and then find the one that's closest to your measurement. Now the misses goes from 30 full bust to 44.5 full bust. And then the hip is 33 to 49. And then if we look at the women's size, that goes from a 43 to a 55 full bust. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick your best starting size using your full bust measurement. Don't worry so much about the hip, because I'm going to show you some things that we can do to adjust the pattern. So women's size, and you get the picture of my lovely mommy, or Mrs. size, and then you get my sister. All right, so those are what the patterns look like. Now let me show you the actual pieces, and these are my pieces that I have been working with forever. It's an extremely fitted pattern. So if you want to make this to be like a base layer or a snug fitting tee, you're going to love it. But if you want to relax the fit, I'm going to show you how to do that next week. So let me just show you what the pieces look like. Let's start with the top pieces. Okay, so here is the center front, looks like this, and then the side front looks like this. And you can see that I had to lengthen my pieces at the shoulder 3/4 of an inch to get them to fit me properly. So I'm going to be talking about all of the fitting next week. That's how we're going to kick off this sew along, with some fitting advice before you cut out your first version. Hi Karen, welcome. We're working with the tee for our sew along starting next week, and I'm just showing some things about the pattern and ways to help you get started. So these are the top front pieces, and then the back piece looks like this. Okay, so this is what the back piece looks like. And then the lower pieces they look like this. And the top of the lower front piece, let me just move myself out of the way here. I'm going to put myself over here. Hi EA, welcome. This is what the top of the tee looks like, and you see it sort of has a curved top, and this seam hits you above your full bust. It kind of runs along this area here. Hi Diane, welcome. Hi Patrice. Welcome. Happy Friday. So that's what the front looks like. And you can see that I relax the fit by slashing and spreading. And then in this particular version, I slashed and spread it too far. So then I overlap the pieces half the amount that I originally slashed to cut down on the amount that I added. But if you're interested, I will put a link to a video that I did a few years ago. See how I spread this to add ease was I made multiple slash marks and spread it multiple places. That's a lot of work. So at a ASG event, one of the women said to me, you don't need to make all those slash marks. You can just slash down the center and spread it. And I don't want to say I didn't believe her. I wanted to test it for myself. So I have a video on my channel called Does Ease Need to Be Evenly Distributed? And if you put that in the search, it'll come right up. I basically sewed 2 T's, one with spreading it multiple places and one with just spreading it once. And I cut out 2 T's using the same fabric. Guess what? You don't need to evenly distribute the ease. So next week, I'm going to show you how to relax the fit of the tee, get the shape the way you like it, you know, and then of course I also relaxed my back view. And you can see at one point I actually put these pieces on the bias. There is so much fun to be had with this pattern. It's going to be really great. Hi Jerry. Jerry, I'm so happy you're here. You're catching me like in the last few minutes because this is going to be a quick one. So if you've just joined, I'm announcing that the tee is going to be the first pattern we're going to do in the sew along. This is the misses. This is the women's. You know, check out the beginning of the video where I talk about sizing information. So if you want to fit your pattern along with me next week, trace out your size after consulting the size chart and comparing it to your full bust, and then have the pieces ready to go, and you can make notes on them as I go through all the different things you may need to do to change next week before you cut out your first tee. So those are what the pieces look like. Now I want to show you, I'm going to be using this lovely modal knit from Fabric Mart Fabrics. It's a black polka dot fabric, and it's super nice and soft and stretchy. You want to find a fabric that has approximately 25% stretch when you're working with this pattern. And I'm just going to show you how I determine how much stretch something has. First, across the cross grain, I am going to mark off a 10-inch length of it like this. And notice I'm not holding it like this. I'm holding it in my hand so I can really stretch a good 3 inches of the fabric. So if I put this down at the 10-inch mark and stretch, you can see I can easily stretch this 2.5 inches, okay? And notice the recovery is very good as well. It snaps right back. So I'm going to be using this knit that has 25% stretch cross grain. And let's go on the lengthwise grain now and see if it stretches. So I'm going to just fold a piece like this. And notice it stretches a similar amount on the lengthwise grain. The reason why I like 4-way stretch when I'm sewing knit tops for myself is because I have a large bust. If you have a large bust, 4-way stretch is your friend because it will stretch over your bust in all 4 directions. And that makes it fitting easier. Let's see. Mary says, is this pattern the same size as the measurements, or is there negative ease? There is a little bit of negative ease. What we can do, and we'll do it next week, is we can actually measure across the pieces to see what they actually measure, you know, based on your size. I'll show you where to measure. And then that will help you decide how much ease you want to add if you want to make a looser fitting, like through the midriff, for example. Plus, I will also show you how to do a full bust adjustment next week. It's a little bit different because of the way the pieces are. So the way you do a full bust adjustment is you're working with the side front piece, not the center front. This is not affected. And then you're using Let me just show you what it looks like. You can see I did a full bust adjustment here. That red is where I spread my pattern. And I think I have it in here. I think I do. Hold on. I save everything. Let's see, is it in here? Okay. All right, so this is the shape of the pattern piece before it's relaxed. So you can see it's pretty fitted. Okay, so then here's what the full bust adjustment looks like after it's completed. It's that red area. Okay. So that's what the full bust adjustment looks like, and I will show you how to do that next week. And also I'll show you where to measure so you can decide, you know, how you want to adjust your pattern pieces for the kind of fit that's comfortable for you. So just quickly getting back to this, you want to pick your fabric so it's got at least 25% stretch across the cross grain. If you have a large bust, I highly recommend getting a knit that also stretches vertically. And it doesn't have to stretch as much vertically, but like I said, it's easier to fit a full bust if you have a 4-way stretch fabric. All right, so that's our exciting announcement for the sew along starting next Friday. Now remember, after we finish the tea sew along, we'll do the raglan sleeve, and we're going to make a little cap borderline sleeveless, and I might actually make a couple versions of that, so I'll have those ready for you to see before the sew along starts. But I'm super excited about this. So get your pattern, get your size traced during the week, so next Friday you can have your pieces in front of you, and you can watch as I show you some common adjustments you might want to do. And you don't have to feel pressure to do them while you're watching me, but you can make notes on your actual pattern piece if you have your pieces traced out. So that's what I recommend doing to get ready for the tea sew along starting next Friday. And that's really all I have time for today. Oh, Sally says, thanks Jen, I'm really glad you'll be doing the sew along for both shirts. Yay, well thank you. I'm so glad that you're excited, because guess what? I can't do a sew along if you guys don't sew along with me. So I really appreciate each and every one of you for joining me and watching and sewing along with me. I've been having a lot of fun with that. And I just want to say one other thing. I did the custom cushions sew along last week, and I just want to show you a picture of how they finally came out. And I should have put this on the community tab, but let me just show you. I brought them over to my sister's, and I took a picture. So here is what it looks like. Okay, so that's how my cushions came out. And here's another fun fact. My dad wanted a cushion for my mom's chair, and I had enough leftovers. So you know how you play chicken with your thread and you're sewing a seam and you know you're running out of thread, and if you get to the end before you run out of thread you feel super happy? Well, that happened with my piping, because I made extra piping and I had just enough to make the cushion for my mom. So let me just show you something. If you're on my Instagram, let me just a minute. If you're on my Instagram, I'm going to post a tutorial on how to start and stop when you're very close and you barely have enough piping, and I'll just show you one of the pictures from that. You can see here, let me just see, hold on one second. You can see here I had barely any piping left. I literally had like a ½ an inch or 3/4 of an inch you know, extra when I got to the second side of the cushion. So I will be posting this tutorial, step-by-step picture tutorial, on my Instagram either later today or tomorrow. So make sure you check that out. All right, so let's see. Mary says, I will make a run to Joann Fabrics to see if they have any decent knit fabric. I have the pattern. I did find some nice rayon jersey at Joann's. The only thing about it is I would pick a print that doesn't have dark colors because the colors fade pretty quickly, but I did find some nice things there. My sister was pleased. She actually has a few different versions of the tee that I've made her over the years, so she did really enjoy. She does wear them still, so that's kind of fun. Sally says, "Love the cushions. It looks like a really inviting patio and a fun place to gather." It really is nice because we can use it most of the year because there's a fire pit, except for the coldest winter days. I've been out there all different temperatures, and they have space heaters and they have the fire pit, and it's just very nice. Okay, let me just see here. Jerry says, "I love that curve. Great inspiration for my backyard." Yes. Yeah, they decided they were just going to chop up the concrete slab that was there and just, put something small. And then when the guy came to quote out the whole project, he explained other things he could do. So they ended up with that curved seating, a nice patio section. It's really very nice. We do most of our family gatherings there right now, especially since my pool is still just a sand pit because the liner hasn't come in yet. So keep your fingers crossed that my liner comes in before the summer ends because I really want to float. But anyway, all right, you guys, thank you guys for checking in with me today. I have to jump off now because I have to get myself ready for my class at 2 with Stitches at Home. Oh wait, Mary says your dad was so happy to help. I know, you guys, I posted a picture of my dad. He was so excited to help me cut the foam out for that project. He bought like 5 different knives or cutting things to figure it out. So if you check my Instagram, you can actually see him on his hands and knees on the ground cutting out the foam. And he also had the piece ready for the cushion that I made for my mom's chair ready to go when I came there the next time. So he was super excited. But anyway, all right, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. If you're taking classes at Stitches at Home, even if they're not my classes, I hope you enjoy that. And also check out my Instagram. I put a picture of the pajama party announcement on my Instagram because my social media manager is actually going to be the host of that PJ party, and she is so fun. If you stay up past 9 o'clock, definitely go check that out. I will be sleeping soon after the pajama party starts, so I will not be there, but definitely check that out if you're registered for any Stitches at Home classes this weekend. All right, so I'm going to go now. Have a wonderful weekend. If you have any questions or comments about picking out a starting size for the tee, please post them below or email me at my jsterndesigns37@gmail email, and I will help you get ready for next week. All right, so have a lovely weekend, and I will see you again very soon.